How's it going, everybody? My name is SimplyPops, and today we're going to be taking a look at iPadOS 14, and this is the first generation iPad Pro. I'm going to take it to the settings, go to General, go to About. Voila, as you guys can see, that's the iPad Pro 9.7 inch. This is the OG iPad. Well, the 12.9 inch is technically the OG. So this is iPadOS Beta 2, and I just installed it last night, but judging by Beta 1, it was completely buggy. It was almost unusable. I have my 2018 iPad Pro, and for me, I was just so close of just downgrading, to be honest with you guys, because the glitches is just like unbelievable. So this is my 2018 iPad Pro, and look, the keyboard is going all the way up there, and it's crashing, and and not only that, the features that iPadOS 14 brings, it's not really all that worth it, in my opinion. It's not that many features, in my opinion, to even download the beta. You know, you're perfectly fine on iPadOS 13. So the first thing that's new is actually the clock and the calendar application. So you guys can see the calendar application now abbreviates the day. So you guys can see the WED, that stands for Wednesday. Instead of it spelling Wednesday, it's just WED. Honestly, me personally, I like the whole thing, but I understand Apple want to make it simplistic, simplicity. So that's why they abbreviated it, but I don't know. Let me know down in the comments down below. Do you guys prefer abbreviated or just the full day? And the clock just slightly bolder on the hands and the hour there. So the minutes in the hands are bolder, but the seconds still remains the same. So you have some brand new widgets. So I'm going to tap and hold anywhere to put it in jiggle mode. Shout out to Craig. And I could tap on the plus icon on the top left, and I could add some widgets. So the widgets is only placed on the today view. You can't place it on anywhere, just like on the iPhone. So if you guys watch my iOS 14 beta videos, you guys can see you could place the widgets anywhere on the home screen, but on the iPad, that is just simply not present. If I try to do that, it's going to just not let you. So I'm gonna try to put it here, but oops. It's just not going to let you, and it actually glitch out too. But if I go back home, it should be back there. Oh, wait, where is it? It just disappeared. All right, anyway, we're going to get back into jiggle mode. But yeah, I think that's a letdown for me. Hopefully, Apple would flip on a switch to allow us to put widgets anywhere on the home screen. But one thing that's new, you can actually add the Files app onto your widgets panel. Having a Files widget could be convenient because you can download things on Safari and you could quickly access them on your widgets right here. But even if you take a look at some of the apps, you have this sidebar now. You're gonna find this kind of layout on pretty much all the Apple applications, so it kind of makes it feel like you have a Mac OS in a sense, because you have that sidebar. So if I take it to the music, oops, you have that sidebar on the side. So it makes things a little bit more easier to navigate. So you see everything on the side, everything exactly where you want, but it could take away some real estate on the side, as you guys can see. But for the most part, I think this is a welcome change. I'm still trying to get used to it, but hey, it's nice to have. And it kind of reminds me of iTunes on Mac OS. So if I go into the clock, this was like the old way of having just the bar on the bottom, but now you have it on the side. Even if I go into the spotlight, this is totally different. So you guys can see it's completely redesigned from the ground up. It looks exactly like Mac OS Spotlight. So this is a nice change. And fun little fact, if you guys watch WWDC, the Mac OS was running off of a A12Z chip. So that's pretty impressive. So Apple just basically found a way to have Mac OS on a A12Z chip. So that's definitely a welcome change. Pretty much the iPads can run Mac OS, but you can't do it. One thing new about Dictation is it actually uses the Neural engine. So it doesn't use the internet. It uses the smartness of your device. So this is definitely a welcome change. Can you do this? Can I do this? Oh yeah, you can even add icons just like that. So I didn't even realize you could do that. Instagram, Facebook, please make an iPad app. It is definitely time for change, man. I mean, come on. You don't have enough resources? Come on, man. We need an Instagram app on the iPad. I'm actually going to run a Geekbench to see how much of an improvement it is, but this is still in beta, so results may vary. The last time I tested this out was on iPadOS 13.4, and these were the scores, and I'm going to quit out all the apps. Even though this is totally unnecessary and useless, I'm still going to do it anyway. So let's run a Geekbench. Okay, here are the scores. All right, so 654 single and then 1201 multi-core score. So comparing that to the 2018 iPad, yeah, this is like crazy. But comparing that to the previous score, iPadOS 13.4, okay, so yeah. So pretty much exactly the same. I mean, it's not nothing too crazy. Exactly the same performance you're getting here. But anyway, let's get back to the features. Now, another new feature is something called Scribble. So Scribble is finally on the iPad. That's one of the things I dislike about the first generation Apple Pencil. You gotta constantly charge it, and then sadly, you gotta plug it in like this. That is just like, oh. Here, my second gen Apple Pencil is always charging. It's either at 90, 80, and then there's always charge at 100 because it's so easy to charge on the side of the iPad. But anyway, I'm going to wait for this thing to charge up for a little bit, and we're going to go over Scribble. All right, so that should be charged enough. Let's see. Let's check the battery status. Okay. Yeah, and that's one thing. It charges fairly quick, but still kind of annoying if you ask me. Scribble allows you to scribble any text box here on iPadOS 14. So let's say I want to go to Safari. I'm behind the camera. Don't laugh at me. I'm kind of far. So S-A-F Safari. Okay, and then you could just tap on it. And then now you're on Safari. So you could just scribble anywhere on the OS. So, behind the camera, YouTube.com. It got it wrong because my handwriting is crap, but it still got it nonetheless. And you could scribble anywhere. Like, this is insane. You can make @signs, you can make hashtags or pound signs. So if you don't have an Apple Pencil, what are you doing? All the iPads pretty much support Apple Pencil. I highly recommend it if you want to sign documents or anything. We need a Scribble. Yeah, you can scribble on Instagram too. Instagram, we need an iPad app, man, for real. And also, you have some of the bells and whistles of iOS 14. So you have the ability where if someone calls you, it's going to be like a notification banner. You can now create perfect shapes. So before, you had to perfectly make a box. You get what I'm saying? But now on iPadOS 14, you can now have a perfect square. So you guys can see, you just create the shape and then you just hold it and it's going to automatically create that shape for you. Same thing with a diamond, or I'm sorry, for a triangle, you could do that too. So you can make like a curve, you could even make like an arrow. So you see, it's nice and neat, and it could even be the other way. Kind of messed that up. Wait, can it make it? Yeah, so it got it. So something that's new, let's say you're playing music. I'm just going to play this. Now Apple has completely redesigned the music application, pretty much the player in view. You now have your lyrics on the right and you have your now playing or your music album art and your controls on the left. So that's pretty cool. I must say, we needed this, man. Like, I feel like the iPad music player was always behind. It was always like wasted space, and Apple has finally got it right here on iPadOS 14. So now you can skim through the music and it's just gonna go along nice and smoothly. So I like that change. That's definitely nice. So, and let's say you don't want lyrics or lyrics is not available, it's gonna look just like this. So yeah, and even the color is gonna adapt too. This is not really a good album. I mean, it's a great album, but it's not that much colors. It's all black, so you know. So you guys can see you have you have a blur going on. This is beautiful, and I'm happy Apple finally got it right, man. Like, they finally got it right. Now, I wasn't planning on including this, but I decided to do a little comparison. This is the 2018 iPad Pro on the right, and on the left, we have the first generation iPad Pro. Both of them are running iPadOS 14 Beta 2, and I just want to show you guys that performance is pretty much identical. To make things fair, I'm going to clear off all the applications here. All right, opening up the camera application. Where is it? In 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry for my hands. I was painting the other room. Video on that coming soon. But anyway, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so faster on the 2018 iPad Pro, and then literally right after we have that. Okay, let's try the stocks in 3, 2, 1. Okay, way faster here, and literally right after on the first generation iPad Pro. It's faster, but it's not that much of a big difference. Let's try the App Store. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So yeah, And overall, I got to give Apple props for still supporting the first generation iPad Pro. I brought this in 2016 and it's still being supported to this day. 2016 was 4 years ago, and the fact that Apple's still supporting this with the latest and greatest updates, and even the iPad Air 2 is still being updated with iPadOS 14. So this is pretty impressive, and you're still getting the features. There's no like, okay, we got to cut this feature. They still giving us everything, and that's one of the reasons why I'm giving Apple props. But as a whole, iPadOS 14 is pretty underwhelming. It's not that many features to really say like, wow, this is a big difference. But we got such a big change last year with the introduction of iPadOS 13 that 14 is like gonna be the S upgrade, like it's gonna be the incremental upgrade. But I think what Apple could have done was save the mouse support feature, because you guys know you can connect the mouse finally on the iPad. They should have saved that feature for iPadOS 14, but it's still a solid update. You're still getting features. You can't really complain too much, but in terms of features, there's nothing too exciting going on. If they were to give us the ability to move the widgets around, I would probably go a little bit more crazier, but it's pretty much the same exact thing. But hey, it's still improvements nonetheless. But yeah, that's iPadOS 14 on the first generation iPad Pro. I would say the performance is still on par. There's no compromise in terms of the performance and speed. But yeah, you're still getting the features. But this is still a beta, so be cautious of installing this on your personal iPad, because you may experience some glitches. And make sure you back up your iPad, whether if it's on iCloud or iTunes, because once you go into iPadOS 14 and you go back to the 13, you can't have iPadOS 14 stuff on iPadOS 13, if that makes any sense. And then if you decide to go back, you still have your data from the iPadOS 13. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. Just back up your device, guys. That's all. Also, I didn't even realize I didn't even change the wallpaper. This is the iOS 13 or iPadOS 13 wallpaper. I apologize for that. Jeez. Just to show you guys, I do have the new wallpapers here, but I'm gonna have it on the thumbnail though. Trust and believe. So that pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, I appreciate it with a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think, or if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, have a simple day. Stay safe. Peace.